This video brought to you by these comments. Keep them up. Hello everyone, welcome back. So the Lauma video that I put out a couple of days ago has managed to get a lot of attention and a lot of questions. So instead of going through each one and just answering them in the comment section, I wanted to take them all together and put it into a Q&A video. So let's get right into it. So we've got a lot of people asking about Calcs. For example, how are DPS Calcs with C2 Nahida and Lauma and Hyperbloom? Calcs about Hyperbloom Rider potentially doing about 115k damage per second. How meta will Lauma teams be? This is kind of relevant to Calcs and everything. And to all of these questions, I just simply have a response of... most of the time I don't do Calcs on this channel. So I'm going to defer to the Spreadsheet Impact players for that. That of course leads us to questions about how meta Lauma's teams will be compared to the current meta, and I'm going to judge it off the overall reaction from the various meta YouTubers that I watch. Genshin Scientist, Jamie, Zajef. Look, Jamie, noted Nilou main, is getting very excited, so I think that should answer the question. Zajef, noted Hyperbloom pervert, is getting very excited for Hyperbloom to make its return to the meta. Now, they're not going to be as strong as, let's say, the Malwikas of the world, but they will still be up there, apparently with like the Skirks of the world, as far as I'm aware. So there we go. Now, of course, that leads to a lot of people also asking about heresy. So we are, of course, talking about the people who mention the Raiden Shogun, but not the Raiden Shogun the way we should be playing her, but instead, you know, the heretical, nonsensical, disgusting, ew kind of way. For example, people talking about, again, the Hyperbloom Raiden Calcs. Won't Hyperbloom Raiden be the best Hyperbloom team again with Xingqiu, Yelan, and Lauma? And you can already tell by my absolute disgust at these kinds of questions that we do not partake in that level of heresy. But look, for the meta nerds out there, from a meta perspective, yeah, apparently so. Zajef, the noted heretic, is getting very excited about playing Hyperbloom Raiden with Lauma again, so that should answer your question pretty well, in my opinion. We do actually have a bunch of people also asking about certain characters, so let's just start off with Nefer, an upcoming character from the Nod Cry teaser. And I think we're all getting the feeling that Nefer is going to be some kind of on-field Lunar Bloom carry, in much the same way that we have someone like Flynn's, who is an on-field Lunar Charge carry. And with that in mind, I get the feeling that she's going to work really, really well with Lauma. And so when we have questions like people trying to figure out a team with Lauma, Xingqiu, and Nefer, for example, with a team like that, I'm kind of leaning towards potentially playing some kind of Nilou team at that point, because then you'd be able to just do a lot of extra bloom damage. That being said, though, someone asking about a Lauma, Nefer, Shinobu, and Yelan team, that actually sounds pretty good to me as well. It might end up almost dangerously being some kind of quick bloom Nefer team. I don't know what Nefer's kit actually entails, so we'll just have to wait and see what kind of shenanigans are going to come out of this kind of character. Guys, we have actually seen a Nefer leak show up, strangely enough, and it's a bit sus, but we'll go with it for the time being, because what other information do we have, okay? So obviously this is a Nefer leak. If you're not interested, just click the next chapter, which should be Cyno. So, no surprises here. She is going to be a Lunar Bloom on-field DPS, and in fact, she's also a mage, which is kind of hilarious because now we have 4 mages. The thing is, and this is what is making me not like what I'm hearing at the present moment, as a Lunar Bloom DPS, she is going to actually change how Lunar Blooms work to the point where there is no Dendro Core that is produced from the Lunar Bloom reaction, which basically means no Dendro Core, no Hyperbloom, no Dendro Core, no Nilou, And also, by definition, no Burgeon teams either. We basically have ourselves an anti-Bloom Navia. Because the second part of this leak suggests that instead of making a Dendro core, we're going to be making Verted Dew and some other new ammo. And then the idea is you use all of the ammo, Verted Dews, and whatever this new thing is, to strengthen your charged attack, apparently, which will do direct Lunar Bloom damage. I am not all that excited about this. I'm not gonna lie right now, guys. I don't know what Hoyo is cooking, but it's kind of cooked. We've also got a couple of people who are very excited about Cyno. Some people asking some very basic questions. Will Cyno be usable now? Yes, it does seem to me that Cyno is going to be able to at least do a lot better than he has been able to in the past. So definitely keeping an eye on these teams is one of my top priorities. We also got a bit of an unusual question about someone asking if Lauma would work in a Mualani team or not. The answer is actually surprisingly yes. There's a couple of things that Lauma can do in a Mualani team that makes her at least somewhat better than just decent. And that is, well, first off, she actually comes with Res Shred and a very long duration of Res Shred, so that's of course really good. The second thing is that she actually has particularly fast Dendro app, but not necessarily as fast or as strong as Nahida's. So look, here's the deal. If you decide to bring Lauma into a Mualani team, you're not using the full value that Lauma has as like a total package, and you're definitely not going to be using the best option in your Mualani team. But hey, if you don't have Emily, if you don't have Nahida, or if you're trying to use Nahida somewhere else, because let's say you want to play an Aggravate team somewhere else, then Lauma at the bare minimum is going to actually be pretty decent. So yes, Lauma will in fact work as a burn vape character in Mualani's team. We've also got a lot of people who are very excited about Kaveh, because that's a character that I actually don't really know a whole lot about personally, but you know, here we go. Someone was asking, of course, how did I forget Kaveh but mention Dory and Candace and Bloom setups? The answer is very simple. I play Dory a lot. I play Candace a lot. I don't play Kaveh almost at all. But I am actually looking forward to actually trying out a variety of Kaveh teams. I think the one that I might end up landing on is Shatterbloom Kaveh, because that might really be what Kaveh was more or less designed for. Candace could also play Shatterbloom, by the way. Her second normal attack can shatter, but Kaveh might really be designed for that. We'll just have to see. But either way, some of the questions that people are asking were, I'm going for a Kaveh Nilu Lauma team. What should be my final slot? Nahida, Ino, Columbina, or Barbs? And in my opinion, I would lean towards Barbara in this question. Now, because, look, when you have Nahida on the team, you have 3 Dendro and 1 Hydro. That's way too much Dendro. I don't think Nahida is going to be doing that much unless you have C2 Nahida. And even then, the amount of Hydro that you have on this team being next to nothing is not really going to be conducive for a team like this. I know, like I mentioned, is going to screw over Lauma with the Ascension 1 passive. Columbina might be the answer at the end of the day, but we'll just have to see what Columbina's kit entails. She, of course, will most likely also be from Notcry, thus potentially screwing over Lauma's A1 passive. But I suspect that Columbina might have some kind of special ability of allowing Lauma to stack both buffs, hopefully, maybe. That would actually be pretty hilarious. But we'll see if that ends up being wildly overpowered. We'll just have to see. But either way, Barbara, just by process of elimination, does also fit a couple of things for this team. First off, well, her Hydro app is almost entirely melee rage, but that's not a problem with Kaveh, who is melee, so that should be a-okay. The second thing is that she's a healer, which means in this Nilu team, you don't necessarily need to go and get C1 Lauma. That being said though, Kaveh can heal himself pretty nicely, especially if you have his C1, so Barbara being a healer might not be the most important thing on the planet, but at least you'll be able to heal everyone else on the team, provided Lauma is not already C1. So I think Barbara would be the key to all of this. Yes, Kaveh is probably going to be getting a buff directly from Lauma's existence. And finally, we have someone asking the age-old question: should I pull Nahida or Lauma? There it is. And to that, I just simply say, wait until my should you pull Nahida video that I'm going to have to get around to making very, very soon, because it looks like that is going to be the big contention moving forward. So that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in this video or of course that video. You know, we're not going to be too, iffy about where you put your comments and all that jazz. I am looking forward once again to Lauma. It seems like a lot of people are looking forward to Lauma. So when Lauma drops, I'm going to get around to building her. And if anything, my opinion of Lauma will be very much colored by my own personal experience of her, basically in the teams that I want to play with her, whatever they may be, and we'll just go from there. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Genshin Impact action, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.